All roads lead to Belmopan on Monday for the Guyanese president's arrival and protesters of many stripes. But will the UDP cause trouble? And VTL had its hurricane shutters up today as former employees led a protest against the company. Plus, they tried to kill him months ago, and gunmen finally caught up with Eugene Myers last night in Corozal town. We'll talk to his common law. Also more on the customs hustle at the northern border. Tonight we'll have an investigative piece and we'll take a bite out of the biggest burger in Belize. You'll see why it's called the King Burger. We've got details of these and other stories in our newscast for tonight, Friday, January 30th, 2026. Good evening. With your news, I'm Indira Craig.
Belize, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
Remember when Senator Bacon was still a senator? He spoke about transparency and honesty.
If you don't have anything to hide, why don't you bring it to light?
So why did Chairman Bacon hide this? The first ever employment contract for a chairman. Locked in for 5 years with a salary nearly $400,000 a year.
Remember, BTL is owned by the people of Belize.
So while you struggle with high rates, he collects nearly $400,000 a year and gets paid even if he's no longer a director of the company. So even though everyone wants him gone,
NTUCB members wanted to demand Chairman Mark Lizarraga's resignation.
Chairman Lizarraga needs to go.
Bacon ain't giving up that fat salary. And even if he's removed, he still gets paid.
I sit at the pleasure of the Prime Minister.
Because that's how Chairman Bacon rolls.
At Atlantic Bank, your convenience is our priority. Our contact center is designed to enhance your banking experience. With a wide range of customer service options, you save time and effort. You can easily call in to block or unblock your debit and credit cards, perform account inquiries, and access detailed card information. Whether you need assistance with online banking, merchant support, or general inquiries, our team is ready to help. For added convenience, if all operators are busy, you can leave your number and an operator will return your call as soon as possible to ensure you receive the support you need. Depending on your transaction type, we may need to verify your identity through a set of security questions. And remember, Atlantic Bank will never request your username or password for Atlantic Online via phone call, text, or email, ensuring your personal information remains safe and secure. Our support team is available Monday to Friday from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. in both English and Spanish. Simply dial 223-1212. This is a dedicated line for our contact center. Atlantic Bank is committed to providing you with exceptional service and the tools you need to manage your finances conveniently and securely. Take full advantage of our easy-to-use contact center services today.
Atlantic Bank, building the future together.
Who's really leading the UDP and what exactly is their position? Lee Mark is saying keep the violence out of the protest.
I do not believe in violence, first and foremost. We're here to demonstrate and we must keep the peace.
But Tracy is promising more of the same.
Why we have to take it this far? You haven't seen anything yet. And for us, this is just round one. Wait for round two.
After her secret Ashcroft meeting, Tracy says there's room for monopoly in a small country like Belize.
With the population size that we have, there's room for monopolies because we have a small market to serve.
But at their protest, her chairlady says there's absolutely no space for a monopoly.
There is no space for monopolies at all. No space.
But then, even Tracy herself, after being exposed with Ashcroft, has professedly gone from yes to no.
No to a monopoly.
So what exactly is their position? And who ultimately has the last word on what the UDP position is? Is the decision being made on the ground?
No to a monopoly.
Or on the yacht?
There's room for monopoly.
When our community comes together, hope shines brightest. Join us Friday, January 30th at 7 p.m. for Hope for Dr. Eck, a special fundraising event at the House of Culture. Enjoy great music by Firestarter Sounds, Home Jam, DJ Clarks, and DJ Woody. Delicious food and drinks on sale, raffle prizes and dancing, all in support of Dr. Eck. Tickets are $100 per person, and tables are only $50 seating 6, plus a complimentary glass of wine. Prayer of Healing begins at 7 p.m. Presented by Modisco and Niche. For tickets, WhatsApp 624-1828. Home for Dr. Eck, Friday, January 30th at 7 p.m. at the House of Culture.
Child marriage, a global problem, but it's also a Belize problem. In 2024, Belize amended the Marriage Act. Legal marriage age, 18, no exceptions. Child marriage is now illegal in Belize, but early unions are still putting children at risk in many communities. What drives this? Poverty, limited access to education and health services, violence and unsafe homes, and harmful social norms that have gone unchallenged for too long. Many cases involve adolescent girls and older men, leading to teen pregnancy, school dropout, and limited opportunities. To protect our children and prevent early unions, everyone has a role to play. Share the facts about the law. Encourage teens to stay in school. Create safe spaces where young people feel supported. Support families facing violence or stress by helping them access services. Strengthen youth programs and parent support. Assist young people in getting access to the information, services, and support they need. Empower both girls and boys to understand their rights and make safe choices. When families, schools, churches, and communities work together, we can end early unions and protect every child's future. Know the law. Share this message. Support our children. End child marriage and early unions in Belize.
Belize, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
All roads lead to Belmopan on Monday for a special joint sitting of the House of Representatives and the Senate. The sitting will represent not only the official reopening of the newly renovated National Assembly building, but also to observe the visit of Guyanese President Dr. Mohamed Arfane Ali, who will be addressing a joint sitting of Parliament. But while it may be ceremonial with a special guest, this sitting won't be business as usual, since there are strong reports that the UDP plans to protest outside the National Assembly. Now, we're told their request for a protest permit was denied, and they had hoped to get in behind the NTUCB protest. But the latest word to our newsroom is that the NTUCB does not have a protest to demonstrate on Monday. Regardless, heavy police presence is expected, and our teams will be on the ground covering both events. And yesterday, the PM spoke briefly about President Ali's upcoming visit. Briceño said his trip will be focused on areas like agriculture and education.
It's kind of ironic now, because at one time nobody wanted to go to Guyana. Now everybody wants to go to Guyana. Guyana is a beautiful country. I have managed to go into the interior. And yes, I remember going to Georgetown the first time in the mid-2000s. And it reminds me so much of Belize City. You know, it reminds me so much of Belize City. But now, because of the tremendous wealth that they have discovered with oil, the country is being transformed. What we're hoping to work with Guyana is to be able to have some agreements, obviously in agriculture, in tourism, in education, and other areas where we can be able to cooperate. Oil, well, that's something that we probably will have to discuss regionally to see if there's anything that can be done. I wish we could have another Petrocaribe program, but I think that's highly unlikely.
President Ali lands in Belize on Sunday afternoon and will be heading straight to Orange Walk via a motorcade, where he will join Prime Minister Briceño at his farm. He also returns to Orange Walk for a dinner at the PM's house on Monday night. They call themselves the Belize Communications Workers for Justice, and this group of former employees took their protest to St. Thomas Street today, gathering outside BTL headquarters to demand severance payments they say have been wrongfully withheld even after the CCJ ruled that they must be paid. But did they have the numbers to rattle the BTL decision makers? Jaleesa Roberts was there and filed the following report.
Placards raised for a second time outside BTL's headquarters this week, but by different actors. Today, it wasn't the fiery opposition, but people who used to work here and are now demanding their severance pay as ordered by the CCJ. A few handfuls of former BTL employees picketed outside BTL headquarters today, calling for the severance, which they say is owed to them. They did so in front of a shuttered building, bracing not against hurricanes, but against the possibility of the type of chaos that unfolded on Tuesday. And while police outnumbered protesters, the recently formed Belize Communications Workers for Justice questioned BTL's priorities, arguing that while former employees await severance payments sanctioned by the highest court in the land, the company is moving ahead with a plan for an $80 million acquisition.
All we are asking, pay the workers their monies that is owed to them instead of, and I will say it's pittance, because some people maybe just about 15,000, 40,000, pay the people their money before we go in and say we are going to spend 80 million on an old house. Something that means nothing to us. We have fiber at BTL. We have top technology. Not the top that will come and wipe us out soon, but we have better than what Smart have. And you are going to give Smart, the owners, the Prime Minister and his family, and the chairman, almost $100 million, $80 million.
Meanwhile, BTL executive management fired off a letter accusing the workers of wanting to pull the plug on the company.
There's a plug on us meeting as a group. What plug? They know where the plugs are. And other things that were said. We are the ones who set up all these lines and everything. We are saying that we know what good stuff we have compared to what we are going to pay $80 million from Smart. There's nothing about destroying the infrastructure of something that we've built. We're into new houses. We're saying, why would we destroy our new house that we put together, well, strong and healthy house we fought for to make sure it remains ours? And why are we going to destroy?
You all feel threatened by that letter?
Well, we do, but there are some of us who fear only God. And I think the majority of our members only fear God. They are scared tactics. I came out here and I was riled up. I was thankful, grateful that the police are here to protect us, because there are some vindictive, evil people in there. And I want the public to know we are not in a fight with the police, with nobody.
The cease and desist letter was directed to Emily Turner, a former BTL employee who recently left the company and spoke at his press conference earlier this week. In the January 29th letter, BTL's internal legal counsel alleges that the comments made by Turner could have been interpreted as encouraging interference with the company's network infrastructure and service delivery. But she says that is their perception, but not her reality.
I worked 24 years for BTL. I started when I was only 17 years old. There is no way I want to destroy that. That is sad. That is an overreaction from a very scared executive team of BTL, right? And it is sad that they would put things out like that. Now, we speak about how proud we are about building this infrastructure. We saw this tower. There was a different tower there before that was changed out. We saw that these things. That was what we were communicating proudly. For them now to send a letter to insinuate those things, they have put these things out. Nobody was even suggesting something like that. We would never suggest something like that.
But while the BTL executive leadership may be fed up with this group, the Minister of Labor says it is time for BTL to pay up.
As the Minister of Labor, I think it's important for me to weigh in, and I hope I'm not doing so prematurely, but this is a matter that has been ventilated all the way to the CCJ. There's no other alternative, there's no other appeal process. And so in my respectful opinion, if these employees are qualified for severance based on the CCJ ruling, then by all means, man, you have to pay these people, because how do you think you're in a position today to be buying out other companies if it's not on the backs of these hardworking people from the company? And so if the CCJ has given that ruling, then in my respectful opinion, BTL has to pay them.
The BCWJ intends to protest daily for 6 days between 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Chaliza Roberts, 7 News.
The numbers we have heard say that BTL has already committed to pay the severance for one group of former employees, and that will cost approximately $11 million. If they include this group, the projection is that it will cost another $12 million. Presently, reports indicate that BTL has been getting several legal opinions to examine the issue. And while the issue of severance for those former employees hangs in the balance, they hope that BTL will adhere to the law, as the Labor Minister has urged them to. But we're not so sure, because lately BTL has been openly flaunting the Telecommunications Act without a care in the world, and we have not heard a word of objection from the PUC. Jules Vasquez offers some commentary on what the law prescribed on acquisitions and mergers as opposed to what's happening before our very eyes.
In its press release yesterday, BTL proudly outlined the benefits and realities of a post-acquisition market environment, such as no forced migration of accounts, price caps, and 24-month integration. It may seem like a glib public sales pitch or PowerPoint talking points, but actually it's a quite bold overreach into the regulatory domain of the Public Utilities Commission. What BTL casually says it will do and what would pertain in a post-acquisition environment should actually, under the law, be determined solely by the PUC, because the Telecoms Act says clearly that where the PUC agrees to potential mergers or transfers of licenses, it is the PUC which imposes terms and conditions for post-merger behavior by the new firm. The Act also says it is the PUC that makes or establishes regulations and procedures that govern the transfer, revocation, and modification of licenses, such as the one SpeedNet has. And it adds that operators who want to transfer or vary a license, quote, shall give public notice of the application in 2 newspapers and invite any interested person who wishes to object to the application to do so in writing within 14 days. No notice has been published. And while the BTL board is itching to approve this acquisition, the law says it cannot do so without the prior written approval of the PUC, which can also refuse such a transfer if it determines that it would result in an anti-competitive marketplace. And while BTL publicly engages in a carte blanche campaign to acquire its competition and has already gone ahead, done evaluation, and reached what we can only conclude is a draft agreement with SpeedNet, their competitor, in doing so they have flouted the sole authority of the regulator. The law says any licensee like BTL which fails to disclose and submit the existence of an agreement which is likely to affect competition or frustrate the objects of this act commits an offense and imposes heavy fines for that. So where is the PUC? The commissioners, all appointed by the Prime Minister, have been publicly mute and the chairman absent from the raging public debate at a critical time. The PUC, through a spokesperson, would only say that once something is on a review, they cannot speak until a final decision is made. But while they review, BTL is moving without pause or propriety and pitching to anyone who will listen the benefits of an acquisition, which even the Prime Minister says the board, not the PUC, will decide on.
And then when the members of the board of directors of BTL meet, that then they can make a decision based on, because they do have a fiduciary responsibility to BTL to do what they believe is in the best interest of BTL, and that's, I think, important for us to know.
But what is best for BTL's bottom line might not be the best for consumers. Again, that's why these type of decisions are left to the PUC, not a profit-maximizing utilities politically appointed board of directors.
We'll keep pressing for a position from the PUC. We'll take a break now. When we come back, we'll tell you how gunmen were stalking last night's murder victim in Corozal. And later on, we'll tackle the King Burger, for sure the biggest burger in the city. Don't go away.
Belize, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
Finally, a postpaid plan for 3 people. Introducing Smart Trio. Why pay for mobile service alone when you can share and save? Get unlimited national calls, texts, plus 100 gigabytes of shared data. And the best part? It's only $135. That's right, as low as $45 per person. Perfect for small families, couples, or close friends. Smart Trio. 3 lines, 1 smart choice. Sign up now and you could win a Trio getaway to San Pedro for 3. Visit us at www.smart-bz.com for more information or sign up at any showroom today. Smart, bringing people together.
Mark Lizarraga once stood tall in the Senate demanding transparency, accountability, and honesty with the people's money.
We in the business community were very
vocal. He spoke out against corruption, insisting that leaders must answer to the public. But today, as chairman of BTL, on a contract worth well over $250,000 annually, his tune has changed.
Yes, I'm the chairman. Yes, I know that negotiations are.
The voice that once called for openness now seems silent when it comes to corporate responsibility.
That is
a travesty. Belize deserves leaders who practice what they preach in government and in business.
Enhanced service and faster sickness benefit claim processing are at your fingertips with SSB's healthcare feature, accessible via the My Social Security self-service portal. Your convenience during illness is key. Now your doctor can certify your period of illness, and your employer can confirm your employment details digitally, eliminating the need to visit our office. But wait, it gets better. You can also review the medical certificate provided by your doctor in your My Social Security account, along with real-time processing updates, keeping you informed. To ensure a smooth process, always review your electronic medical certificate before you hit submit. Upon submission, your employer is notified via email of your claim submitted to SSB and must respond within 48 hours for your claim to be automatically processed. For more information, check out our guides on our website and YouTube pages. Social Security at your fingertips.
Who really controls the PUC? Independent voices or hand-picked appointees who will sing the tune requested by the Prime Minister? An $80 million deal for Smart Belize? But who benefits? Not the people, only the shareholders. 4 million in stamp duty, 12 million in interest, lawyer fees piling up, and the looming smart debt. By the time the dust settles, Belizeans will be burdened with well over $100 million for a company past its prime. Belize deserves transparency. Belize deserves independence, not hand-picked boards, not outdated debts. The people must come first.
En Atlantic Bank, tu comodidad es nuestra prioridad. Nuestro centro de contacto está diseñado para mejorar tu experiencia bancaria. Con una amplia gama de opciones de servicio al cliente, ahorras tiempo y esfuerzo. Puedes llamar fácilmente para bloquear o desbloquear tus tarjetas de débito y crédito, realizar consultas de cuentas y acceder a información detallada de tus tarjetas. Ya sea que necesites asistencia con la banca en línea, apoyo para comercios o consultas generales, nuestro equipo está listo para ayudarte. Para mayor comodidad, si todos los operadores están ocupados, puedes dejar tu número y un operador te devolverá la llamada lo antes posible para asegurarse de que recibas el apoyo que necesitas. Para mayor seguridad, es posible que necesitemos verificar tu identidad con un conjunto de preguntas sencillas. Recuerda, Atlantic Bank nunca solicitará tu nombre de tu usuario ni contraseña de Atlantic Online por llamada telefónica, mensaje de texto o correo electrónico, asegurando que tu información personal permanezca segura y protegida. Nuestro equipo de apoyo está disponible de lunes a viernes, de 8 a.m. a 6 p.m., en inglés y en español. Simplemente marca al 223-1212. Esta es la línea dedicada para nuestro centro de contacto. Atlantic Bank se compromete a brindarte un servicio excepcional y las herramientas que necesitas para administrar tus finanzas de manera conveniente y segura. Aprovecha al máximo nuestro servicio del centro de contacto.
Atlantic Bank, building the future together.
Remember when Senator Bacon was still a senator? He spoke about transparency and honesty.
If you don't have anything to hide, why don't you bring it to light?
So why did Chairman Bacon hide this? The first ever employment contract for a chairman, locked in for 5 years with a salary nearly $400,000 a year.
Remember, BTL is owned by the people of Belize.
So while you struggle with high rates, he collects nearly $400,000 a year and gets paid even if he's no longer a director of the company. So even though everyone wants him gone,
NTUCB members wanted to demand Chairman Mark Lizarraga's resignation.
Chairman Lizarraga needs to go.
Bacon ain't giving up that fat salary. And even if he's removed, he still gets paid.
I sit at the pleasure of the Prime Minister.
Because that's how Chairman Bacon rolls.
Welcome to a new era of civil registration in Belize, introducing new digital services through the Civil Registry and Vital Statistics System, CRVS. This transformation is designed to make accessing vital records faster, easier, more efficient, and more affordable for all Belizeans. You can access vital records needed for business, travel, healthcare, and other needs. If you prefer face-to-face assistance, our friendly and efficient staff are here to help. The CRVS now offers both e-certificates and paper certificates. The CRVS is designed for all Belizeans, from government officials to professionals, from rural communities to our migrant population. The new CRVS, digitally connecting citizens to all vital statistics services. To learn more, visit our website and start using the CRVS today.
The roads of Belize connect us all. Riders, drivers, families, friends. Every day begins with a little routine and the confidence that life's journeys are protected. From school drop-off through the daily grind and everything in between, each with different roads ahead, yet one common goal: to arrive safely. Atlantic Insurance stands with Belize's riders and motorists with affordable protection, support, and peace of mind for the journey ahead. For the roads we share and the lives we protect, Atlantic Insurance is by your side, insuring you from life's unexpected. Atlantic Insurance, insuring you from life's unexpected.
Un grupo de gente que hemos trabajado muy duro y la tierra es para la gente de Bellavista. ¿Para qué? Para que los jóvenes puedan tener tierra. ¿Para qué? Para que los jóvenes puedan desarrollarse en el futuro. Algo que les hacía falta por mucho tiempo. Nuestros padres vienen de las fincas bananeras. Somos gentes que hemos sufrido mucho y ustedes como jóvenes se merecen mejores oportunidades.
If you didn't have land before, you will have land now. Once you have land, you have wealth.
I think they want to build, they want to settle.
I'm already having dreams of my home and everything.
You know, the words are just, I'm really excited. I'm really happy. I can finally begin to build a house.
It's just a great feeling, you know.
Mi amigo es un hermano, una persona para el pobre. ¿Estamos de acuerdo?
Belize, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
I sit at the pleasure of the Prime Minister.
And what is the Prime Minister's pleasure? Could it be sealing the deal on an acquisition that will make his family $18 million richer? And why has Chairman Bacon gotten such a lucrative contract to the tune of almost $400,000 a year?
So if the Prime Minister thinks that I'm not doing his job.
But you're doing his job, aren't you? Chairman Bacon is the first chairman in history to be given a fireproof clause. He was appointed for 5 years. Why give him that kind of protection?
The Brisenians to stop exploiting this country and stop saddle Belizeans with debt for your own self-enrichment.
Belize, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
Tonight, a policeman has been charged for murder. He's 24-year-old Kenroy Rudolph Allen Jr., a Belizean police officer, for the murder of Shaquem Ferguson that occurred on Sunday afternoon in Ladyville. We're told that his licensed firearm was tested and the ballistics came back positive for the murder. Also, reports tell us his phone had messages related to another murder in the village. Police are also looking into clothing linked to another murder that may have been found at his home. Last night, a murder in Curacao town took the life of a father of one. 36-year-old Eugene Myers had been targeted before, but a gunman fatally shot him on First Street right outside of a hotel. According to his family, Myers was trying to escape his criminal life, but according to police, his death is drug-related. Courtney Menzies has this story.
36-year-old Eugene Myers was shot in the head around 8 o'clock last night in Curacao town. He was about to enter Hotel Martin to pick up some money when he was targeted by a lone gunman. According to his common-law wife, she spoke to him about an hour before that, and he said he would be home soon. But that ended up being their last conversation, because shortly after, she got the call that he was dead.
At that moment, I fell down, and my life was canceled. My heart dropped. I had a full-blown panic attack. My son was there. To me, it still looked like a joke, you know. I haven't accepted it as yet either. Until they opened the door and I saw the body bag, I felt like there was a barrier between me and that room, because I'm the only one there, that I'm the only one he had. So when they opened the bag, I saw the shot and everything. And all I could say is, yes, this is Eugene Myers. And I don't know if it was a setup. I have no knowledge of what happened, because all I know is he was supposed to collect money from a friend and then come home. So apart from that, I don't know anything else.
And Rivera said since his vehicle had been targeted in November of last year, they tried to escape the violence by moving to Curacao.
The reason we moved away from town is that I don't know if you saw on the news. I think in December they shot up a red pickup in town on the highway. That was our pickup. We were at the store. We were at the store at that time, and he told me, "Go into the store and go buy what you need to buy. I'm gonna wait in the car." I told him, "No, let's go with me." We came coming out of the store, and we used to call the pickup Big Sexy. Everyone knows the pickup was Big Sexy. So the little girl, she came running and she said, "They just shut up Big Sexy." So I'm like, at that time, we still haven't processed that that was the name of the pickup, until it was at my window. They had like bullet holes and stuff. And I fell into a shock, and I'm like, you were supposed to be in that car.
And when we asked the police about that incident, ACP Gilberto Romero explained that he had been a target for some time.
We believe it is drug related. The deceased had issues with several persons in Corozal, and he was waiting for someone to do a transaction involving cash.
On November 9th, I believe, sometime in early November, his vehicle was shot at. Is it related to this incident?
That is correct. He has been receiving threats, and the person came there and fatally shot him.
Do police believe it's the same person who targeted his vehicle that shot him?
We do not know, as that case was not solved. The first shooting, no one was charged for that shooting.
No criminal history for the deceased.
Yes, he is on bail for robbery and other crimes.
And while Rivera admitted that Myers had a criminal past, she said he was trying to do better for his family and was always looking out for his friends.
Me and Eugene, when we met, it was under some weird circumstances. He was always a fun person. Everyone that knows Eugene, and I'm telling you when I say everyone, I mean everyone, entire of Corozal knew Eugene because of how he was outgoing. Eugene could literally have his last, and he would know once his family is straight at home, and you come and you say, "Boy, Big Papa, I haven't eaten today. You think you can lend me some money?" He's gonna lend you. If he doesn't have, he's gonna call me, "Babe, what you cook today? We have leftovers." Yes, okay, I will send a run man for it. He would not tell me why, but until he comes home, he would say, "No, it's my friend. He never eat today." So then he would tell me, So he was kind. He was kind, and yes, he did have a past. He did have a past, and I always used to tell him, "You can't run away from your past. You now have a kid, and we are now living together. Yes, this is your family, but you have to remember that either way, we have to be safe." He did not deserve that. He did not deserve that. He did not. We did not deserve this.
Courtney Menzies, 7 News.
Belizean musical artist 31-year-old Anferni Big Band Pollard was shot and killed in Las Vegas, Nevada yesterday during a domestic dispute at his home. Pollard and his partner were allegedly targeted by her ex. According to U.S. news reports, the police were alerted by a 10-year-old child in the home. We spoke with his brother, City Councilor Alan Pollard, who spoke about Bang's influence everywhere he went.
Big Bang was always the type of person who always smooth, easygoing, cool, no lot of drama, no lot of antics, just, cool, calm and collective, like my dad would say,
And so what do you guys understand transpired in the US?
Well, from what we gathered, it was a domestic dispute, as it was labeled by the media house from the States now. I haven't had much information other than what has been reported, but apparently he was at a home with a young lady, and some ex or somebody who was very upset came in and murdered the two of them.
And so, can you talk to us about the impact that he had on the lives of those that he surrounded himself with?
Bang was always influential, whatever he did. Music-wise, I think the era when Bang came up with his first big hit was when the music landscape was just really changing. We were just like the quality of videos were, you saw the level went up a bit. you hear like the quality of the music, the quality of production went up a bit, you know. So he was very instrumental in that, you know. I remember he was one of the few you would see having like video release parties and you know these big launch and you know because that was bang. You had to you know make his presence known. Have to do everything he do. You have to do it correct. So you know that was him.
Bang will be laid to rest in Belize, but funeral arrangements are still being sorted out. The KHMH today issued a press release to address the concerns around a string of baby deaths. It offers, quote, the nature of the illnesses under which the infants were hospitalized were related to multiple factors, including prematurity, congenital birth defects, and malnourishment, amongst others. These complications, especially for young, susceptible infants, make them extremely high-risk patients and delicate cases, end quote. In the reports being filed, mothers were accusing the KHMH of neglect, misconduct, and also being the cause of their baby's death. The Belmopan Police Formation conducted a drug destruction at the Armenia dump site on Wednesday morning. Present to witness the destruction by fire with the Belmopan magistrate, the government chemists, justice of the peace, representatives of the media, and the officer commanding for Belmopan. Approximately 401 pounds of loose cannabis were destroyed, along with 58 cannabis plants and half a pound of seeds. A total of 5 ounces of cocaine was also destroyed and approximately 8 ounces of crack. In addition to the drugs, a number of pieces of drug paraphernalia and related items were also destroyed. And in other home affairs news, Special Advisor Aaron Guzman's $70,000 contract as Special Advisor ends in March. The previous minister had indicated that he was not inclined to renew it. But now there's a new minister in charge, and Oskamira says he has not advised for it to be renewed.
Special Advisor to the Ministry, Aaron Guzman, will his contract be renewed?
The contract for Mr. Guzman, at this point in time, contract was not done by me. That is done by the Office of the Prime Minister. I have not advised them to renew that contract. So it will be left up to the Office of the Prime Minister to renew or not to renew.
Okay, so even if you don't advise, they can still go forward with it?
Well, I don't sign the contract. So, of course, you know, it's their prerogative. If they can ask for my advice, I can give them my advice.
Okay, and so we know the Forestry Department recently stopped an illegal logging operation that was happening at his farm, including confiscating a sawmill. Can you speak on that, or can you comment on that?
No, I cannot comment on that. I don't know the details, and I think it wouldn't be right for me to comment on something that I don't know. It had nothing to do with the police department. That was forestry operation, and I think the best person to ask the forest department.
And were you aware of it, though?
I was aware of it through a report that I saw. Yes, it was on the news as well as on, but it wasn't a police-led operation.
Did you ever confront him about it by chance?
No, I haven't confronted him.
We'll keep following the story. We'll take a break now. There's still much more news ahead. We'll present a special investigative piece on the customs hustle on imported vehicles. And could it be the biggest burger in Belize? Jaleesa Roberts tackles the King Burger. Don't go away.
Belize, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
Mark Lizarraga once stood tall in the Senate demanding transparency, accountability, and honesty with the people's money.
We in the business community were very, very
vocal. He spoke out against corruption, insisting that leaders must answer to the public. But today, as chairman of BTL, on a contract worth well over $250,000 annually, his tune has changed.
Yes, I'm the chairman. Yes, I know that negotiations are.
The voice that once called for openness now seems silent when it comes to corporate responsibility.
That is
surprising. Belize deserves leaders who practice what they preach in government and in business.
Oh, yo, what's up, bro? Just Western Union moms a little money using DigiWallet. Uncle in the States paid me too. Same app. Using DigiWallet. Bro, this is too easy. I can do this from anywhere. No lines, no hassle. It's just easy. All right, gotta run, bro. Take it easy.
I sit at the pleasure of the Prime Minister.
And what is the Prime Minister's pleasure? Could it be sealing the deal on an acquisition that will make his family $18 million richer? And why has Chairman Bacon gotten such a lucrative contract to the tune of almost $400,000 a year?
So if the Prime Minister thinks that I'm not doing his job.
But you're doing his job, aren't you? Chairman Bacon is the first chairman in history to be given a fireproof clause. He was appointed for 5 years. Why give him that kind of protection?
The Britannians to stop exploiting this country and stop saddle Belizeans with debt for your own self-enrichment.
Welcome to the new digitally transformed Vital Statistics Unit, the Civil Registry and Vital Statistics System, CRVS. The CRVS enhances accessibility, transparency, and customer satisfaction. Vital Stats now offers online self-service, which allows you to apply for any service from the comfort of your home. You can now apply for services and pick up certificates at any of our district offices. All of our processes and forms have been standardized to improve the security and privacy of your data. The new digitally transformed VSU now offers secure e-certificates, providing applicants with the flexibility to request either an electronic certificate, a paper certificate, or both formats, digitally connecting citizens to all vital statistics services. Visit our website to learn more and start accessing Vital Stats improved services today.
Who really controls the PUC? Independent voices or hand-picked appointees who will sing the tune requested by the Prime Minister? An $80 million deal for Smart Belize? But who benefits? Not the people, only the shareholders. $4 million in stamp duty, $12 million in interest, lawyer fees piling up, and the looming smart debt. By the time the dust settles, Belizeans will be burdened with well over $100 million for a company past its prime. Belize deserves transparency. Belize deserves independence, not hand-picked boards, not outdated debts. The people must come first.
Drop it like it's hot.
I'm Randolph Friesen and I manage Westville Produce, better known as Granny's Foods. That's our main brand. So we offer high quality grains, beans, rice, and we also offer corn chips made from 100% locally grown corn. We saw a need for high quality locally produced products. A lot of the best products are being exported and we said, we need to keep some of the best products here in Belize rather than export everything. Atlantic Bank has helped us achieve our goals by providing the financing for us to be able to launch products faster than we would without the financing that they offer. We find that Atlantic Bank is very customer friendly, especially with small and medium-sized businesses. We find that Atlantic Bank is more than willing to go the extra mile. They try to understand your business. So when we go to Atlantic Bank with a certain need, we find that they try to develop a solution that will meet our specific need. I would encourage any small business owner to go to Atlantic Bank for their financial services. They're very friendly, and just overall, their service is excellent.
Please, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
Alex Haley's 1976 book, Roots, the saga of an American family, along with its 1977 television adaptation, fundamentally changed global consciousness regarding slavery, African American history, and genealogy. And now the international celebration of Roots at 50 in Belize to mark African Heritage Month features several activities that will take place throughout February, including the opening of an art exhibition. Jo Marie Lanza stopped by the exhibition today while a special guest stopped in to take an exclusive advanced look. Here's that story.
This Sunday marks the beginning of African Heritage Month, and the Bliss Center is also celebrating 50 years of Roots, the novel written by Alex Haley, who also co-wrote the autobiography of Malcolm X. Haley's family is in Belize at the invitation of one of Malcolm X's daughters, Ambassador Shabazz, and today they took a tour of the art exhibit curated by Gilvano Swayze, titled Behold, the Roots That Unite Us.
This is beautiful. This artwork is so lovely. And it's really, we're being here to make clear the point that we are all united. I mean, people of African extraction all over the world are one, and we share a common bond. So we're so happy to be here to celebrate this with you and this beautiful artwork. My uncle actually researched the origin of his ancestor, and it was born of oral history. As a child, he would be visiting his grandmother in Henning, Tennessee, and sitting on the front porch, listening to these older women, his grandmother and her sisters, talk about the African. They would call him the African, and that his name was Kente. They remembered these stories that their father had told them, and that his father had told him, so through literally the telling of stories, Uncle Alex grew up remembering them. And because of the research Uncle Alex had done in the States, the Library of Congress and through the Church of Latter-day Saints, he knew the time that Kunta Kinte would have landed. And it turned out he was on the Lord Ligonier, one of many slave ships that came. So in doing that, he discovered for all African Americans that our origin was not in America, that we came from somewhere else, and that it was a place of pride and where we were kings and queens.
The exhibition revolves around the concept of Africa in Belize, featuring the works of dozens of Belizean artists who similarly found inspiration in their African roots, much like Alex Haley.
Interestingly, I went into an art career, and all through the years that I've been setting up art exhibits, I have seen the roots in me and in the artists themselves that I work with. Creole, Garifuna, Mestizo, Mennonite, any culture that I have helped document, the art, I have seen roots and I have seen Africa in Belize. When Ambassador Shabazz asked me to assist with this, the thing is, I was at home and I just looked on the walls and I saw that we already had this whole collection. At the gallery, I had stuff and I had connections, Pen Cayetano, all the way down my artist Janira, all the way down in Placencia. But what I'm saying is that these art, sorry, I'm emotional, these art, these images, these feelings, we have always had. And I wanted to showcase that it was there the whole while. Sometimes when you see things every day, you take it for granted and you don't recognize it. Oh, that's just my uncle. But when you look more and you listen to the stories, like my aunt had said earlier, the stories were powerful, and that's what we grew up with. I grew up with Anansi's story. That's totally African, right? And you learn about the empowerment that you can have of Anansi being so small, but being so tricky or so wise by using your mind. And one of the pieces you will see, and it struck me, is there was a poster that was done for independence in 1981. And an image was used for Belize independence.
That image was the silhouette of a Creole woman of African descent, a touching representation of how Africa can be found in all of us, including in Belize.
So we keep forgetting who we are too. And we were part of this big movement of the transatlantic slave trade and so forth. But yeah, we keep separating ourselves from what is reality and what is the truth and what our identity is. And I think this exhibit will show it. And like I said, I have artists who are mestizo and they create these things. They're attracted to it, right? It's part of them. All we eat rice and beans, tamales, when I think is Spanish, is actually African, all right? So there's so many things that we have on our plate and on our table and in our houses that we have lost where the origin is from. And I hope this exhibit, I hope this whole event with the Roots documentary and whatever else is happening for February, for Black History Month, or for every day in your life, I hope it opens our eyes.
The exhibition opens on Sunday along with screenings of the miniseries Roots that will be showing as a matinee every Sunday through the month of February. Jo Marie Lanza, 7 News.
This event was made possible through the collaboration of the Bliss Center for Performing Arts, Pilgrim Foundation, and the Inherited Roots Project. The first showing of Roots, the mini-series, begins at 3 p.m. this Sunday. If you're a social media savvy person, you have probably heard about the King Burger, the viral video produced by a food blogger by the name of @ja.cooked.her. Introduced Belize and the world to the biggest burger seen in the Jewel. Jaleesa Roberts and Clifford Mejia went hunting today, and here's a bite of what they found.
You might have heard of a Big Mac from McDonald's, a Double-Double from In-N-Out, or a Whopper from Burger King. Well, today we found the King Burger, located at Jackie's Restaurant in Kings Park. It may not look like much more than a hole in the wall, but the signature burger has been on the menu since they opened its doors. And how did we find out about it? TikTok. And so you might be questioning, why is it that we're here doing a story on a burger we saw on TikTok? But it just goes to show the influence. And we're not the only ones here for this burger, so that's what makes it interesting. Why are you here?
Well, I saw the burger on TikTok, and I said, man, I live right across the street, and I can go try it.
So you've never heard about this burger before TikTok?
No, never.
And you live right across the street?
For about 3 years now.
Can you explain to us, what is it that attracted you about this product when you saw it on TikTok?
The size of the meat. The Belize, anytime I order like a lead $10 burger, aside for a Chicken Express, it always small. Yeah. But I say a burger for only $11.50. And you see how big the size of that meat right there? I had to go check that out.
Well, like these going men, we too had to check it out, and that's what we did. So, as you can see, this is the King Burger. It's not the size of my hand. And so my hand, the burger, it's clearly bigger than my hand. And my hand, if I put it side on my face, maybe I have a big head. But anyways, I guess when we get back in the office, we'll try it. But before we left for our office to try this mega burger, we met no less than 13 customers getting the same burger. One gave us his first review. What was your first reaction, initial reaction?
You're big.
And so you think that you could finish that one sit down, or that's something you would have to split up in 2 meals?
Split this up, share this to the whole family, man.
How did you find out about this burger?
I feel like I found a TikTok post, you know.
But not only are the burgers big, but so is the heart of the management. They saw us interviewing persons after purchasing one trial burger and gifted all 3 members of our team with 3 trial burgers. 3 burgers, 3 opinions, and all driven by social media. But the proof of the pudding was in the eating. So we finally get to the eating part of this burger. And the main question is, how does one eat a burger this big? So naturally, in my head, I've calculated that I will need to tear off the edges and eat the burger and then use this as extra. If you say how big, this can actually be a whole meal on its own. And so, $11.50, definitely worth it. But we'll see how it tastes now. The chicken have flavor, like lot of flavor. That's a plus. You have meat from the edges go in. And so, as you can see, it has chicken breast. All of the edges. I don't know, big fry is fun, but we have to do it there. Alright. I think that's enough meat. Wow. I give it a 10. The lesson here is that it's not about the food. It was about how quickly a thought planted online while doom scrolling can turn into a real fast food trend, proving that what we consume online often consumes us more than we realize. Jaleesa Roberts, 7 News.
Jackie's opens at 10 in the morning and serves the burger until 11 at night. Earlier this week, we shared a sensational recording where a car importer was heard arguing with a broker about a $4,000 kickback that was included in the price he paid to clear a vehicle from the northern border. In that case, the amount collected by the government was only $3,000. Since that reported, we've heard of countless such cases, and the fact is, every year, tens of millions of dollars worth of goods enter Belize through our borders. Behind the counters and cargo manifests, There are decades-old allegations and whispers of unchecked corruption inside the Customs Department, where duty isn't just what you pay at the border, but what you pay under the table. The problem has allowed for many millions to seep from the public purse. But how much exactly? Through a grant with the Global Financial Integrity, freelance reporter Marian Ali went looking to uncover how much is lost to this system of kickbacks. She was surprised by what she found out.
I asked them why the receipt was made out for $2,800 when I paid $6,800. The customs officer said that $4,000 was for the boss man because he gave me a discount. I was angry, but what could I do? That's the level of corruption happening at the Corozal border. These are the words of a frustrated Belizean who asked to remain anonymous out of fear of retaliation. The practice they describe is simple. In this case, a fraudulent receipt shows a third of her total payment. That $2,800 goes to the Customs Department. The rest of the money, $4,000, goes into someone's pocket.
I've spent the last several weeks investigating claims of corruption within the Belize Customs Department. That corruption involved customs officers who engage allegedly in extortion or bribery with civilians who import goods into the various ports of entries of Belize. And the incidents I'm referring to date back a few years. One of the complainants told me via Facebook that they were extorted of several $1,000s for bringing in a vehicle through this port of entry, which is the Santa Elena border in Corozal town.
The extortion victim explained to us how the incident unfolded. In our Facebook chat, they wrote, quote, I had this guy bring in a Nissan Rogue for me some years ago. Like in 2020, I had bought it on a bidding market. I paid $3,200 for the Rogue, and customs was charging me 9,800 Belize for duty. I couldn't pay the 9,800, so I begged them to give me a better price. They asked me if I could come up with 6,800. I said I could try. I borrowed the money and paid them 6,800 Belize. Now, when they gave me the receipt was made out for $2,800. No one I spoke with was willing to go on camera to talk about bribery and fraud at customs for fear of being targeted. But a frequent importer told me he was once approached at the Santa Elena checkpoint by a customs officer who offered to let his goods pass without paying the actual duties, and in return, he would charge him $200 for the break. It's an offer that our informant said angered him when he thought of the amount the country loses by customs officers gaining personally. Alexa Tillett is a Belizean who focused her graduate research at UWI on corruption within the Belize government system. She points out how these kinds of corruption hurt Belizeans.
Unpaid duties reduces the revenue collected by the government that could go into programs for education and health. Additionally, it is unfair competition for those who do follow the rules, as they may face higher costs and delays, which may lead to distrust in the system and the government.
According to the Statistical Institute of Belize, in the calendar year 2024, Belize's merchandise imports totaled $2.909 billion. This is an 8.5% increase from 2023. Interestingly, the largest growth was in the machinery and transport equipment category, the same category that our extortion victim alleges they lost $4,000 to. And the Statistical Institute of Belize's records show that for the first 3 quarters of 2025, Belize's total merchandise imports amounted to $2.431 billion. But of all these imports, how much is lost in duties that were never recovered because of corruption at the customs entry points? And what could all that money be invested in if they were collected in duties? There is no known record of the losses, so we will never know. In the course of our reporting, no government entity could answer the question, nor the Auditor General Maria Rodriguez, nor the Ombudsman, nor the police, nor the Director of Public Prosecutions, not even the Prime Minister and his Ministry of Finance team. In a phone conversation, Auditor General Rodriguez said that as far as she knows, there has not been a single complaint by any member of the public about corruption within customs, at least not in the past 12 years. She did encourage people to come forward and said filing a complaint is confidential and can be done online. Documentation would really help it. If you go on the website, you can find the whistleblowers. I don't even know how you call it. It's a portal or a window. You can click there and type all you feel needs to be looked at. Then what happens, we include it in our annual audit plan, more than likely 2026 to 27, because this year is already November. Can you say whether your office has received, or to your knowledge, over the let's say 5 years, dating back 5 years, has received any kind of complaint regarding any customs officer involved in bribery or extortion or anything of the sort?
I can hereby certify and declare that to the best of my knowledge, we have not received within the office of the Ombudsman, or no complaints has been lodged against the Custom Department in particular, or any specific individual from within the Customs Department.
Several government entities are charged with investigating complaints of corruption against public officers, and none has reported having received reports of corruption within the Customs Department in recent memory. Yet the murmurs and allegations span over many years. Like Auditor General Rodriguez, Ombudsman Suazo said that his office can investigate, but only if citizens bring their personal experiences forward. He said that complainants' names and other particulars are required, but this information is kept in confidence.
Once a written complaint is lodged, or even a verbal complaint is lodged, certainly there will be a need to ascertain the circumstances surrounding the complaint. Who is making the complaint? So we certainly need to get an identification of that individual who is making that complaint, certainly providing a social security card or a passport. We need the address of the individual, all particulars relating to the complainant. And we will need specific details in regards to the authority, namely which department or which ministry or which individual or which department, which ministry that individual is working with, so that then we can ascertain that in fact that person is employed by a stated authority that the Ombudsman can in fact investigate.
Alexa Tillett, the Belizean expert on government corruption, says the roots of the problem are entrenched in the system.
When customs officers have freedom to exercise flexibility in the application of rules and regulations, for example, classifying or valuating goods, there is opportunity for corruption, like negotiating fees and side payments for the clearance of goods. 2, there is a culture of corruption in Belize where corruption is viewed as normative and an accepted behavior, to the extent that soliciting gifts or bribes is seen as okay because everybody did do it.
Tillett says the lack of frequent auditing exercises adds to the problem. lack of enforcement of laws is yet another weakness that supports corruption. Police sources tell me the Customs Department investigates itself when it comes to criminal allegations, so penalties and accountability lie outside the Belizean justice system. Despite my relentless efforts for over a month via phone calls to the Customs Department, personal messages to the controller's number, and 2 emails to the Customs Department seeking a sit-down interview to discuss their processes to prevent and prosecute cases of corruption, those efforts were ignored. A log of countless phone calls placed to the office to speak with the controller's secretary were all ignored when my calls were transferred. Aside from this, no one from the Ministry of Finance would agree to be interviewed for this report. Alexa Tillett recommends a few tactics that could cut down on customs corruption. Customs officers could be required to wear body cams. Surveillance cameras capable of picking up audio could also be installed at strategic locations inside and outside all customs compounds and offices that would deter the urge to engage in corruption. Marion Ali reporting.
Construction commenced last year in January, and today was the ribbon-cutting ceremony for the newly renovated Bullet Tree Falls Community Center. The area representative for Cayo North says that the center functions as an event and activity hub for residents, in addition to a hurricane shelter. Here are the highlights from the event today.
We have renovated the community center, which has been here for more than 30 years. As you know, this is a center for community life. People use it for wedding, for quinceaños, for all kinds of functions. It is used for village meetings. All kinds of activities surround this center. And more importantly, it is also used as a hurricane center. And so this really is the center of life here in Bullet Tree. And we are happy that we were able to really get in here and renovate it completely. Unfortunately, over time, it became rat-bat infested, and it had really become dilapidated, and we could not allow that to continue. And so with the help of the Honorable Anthony Marla, we got together and we were able to do this renovation, as you can see here. So it was almost fully redone. It was completely gutted out. New roof, new lights, new fans, new ceilings, new floors, new bathrooms. So really a complete renovation of the building.
It's not all about the big projects. When you invest in your communities like we did in Belize City, in Berja Field and Mahogany Street and all those things, you feel an upliftment. The other day I was in El Salvador. I hadn't been to El Salvador in many years. But the first few times I went to El Salvador, everybody said, don't go here, don't do this, don't do that. Now, this time when I went, I could feel the energy from the people. I can see the smiles on the face. And so security is an important, and to ensure that our people feel free to go out to enjoy these things like they once did. And so this is just the start for the Bullet Tree community and for some of the projects that we have for the entire Cayo district. We will continue to work tirelessly with everybody involved. We will continue to consult to ensure that we put the monies in the right places at the right times and for all people.
And that's all we have for you for our newscast tonight. Thanks for watching With Your News. I'm Indira Craig. Remember, you can find a full transcript of the news at 7newsbelize.com and see the streaming video on our Facebook page. Have a great night and an enjoyable weekend. Join me back here on Monday at the same time.